The rain was relentless that Friday night, streaking the glass walls of St. Mercy Medical Center in silver ribbons. The city's neon glow blurred against the storm as ambulances came and went. The hospital was a hive of movement, but behind the polished floors and perfumed antiseptic, something rotten festered in silence. Dr. Marcus Whitaker was hunched over in the dim staff lounge, long fingers cradling a half-empty coffee cup. His brown hair was slightly disheveled, the day's fatigue etched in the lines beneath his sharp hazel eyes. He had worked here for over a decade, a respected cardiologist with an unshakable reputation for precision. But lately, he had been feeling the ground shift. Under him, strange directives from higher-ups, whispered conversations that stopped when he entered a room, and the subtle, chilling sense that something dangerous was brewing in the hospital he once trusted. The door creaked open. Olivia Grant stepped in, shaking off her wet cardigan. Her light blue scrubs clung to her frame, the rain making her natural curls coil tighter against her head. She carried herself with a calm, almost stubborn grace, but tonight her eyes were swollen from holding back tears. Marcus straightened. "Olivia, what happened?" She hesitated, glancing toward the hall before shutting the door behind her. "Marcus, I saw them do it. I saw the record get altered." His stomach tightened. "Which record?" "The woman in ICU, Angela Myers, the 29-year-old with chest pain. She was misdiagnosed with acid reflux instead of a cardiac emergency. She flatlined before they caught it. I saw her original chart, and I saw Nurse Linda Hargrove," Olivia's voice caught, feeding the real file into the shredder. Marcus's jaw clenched. "Linda," Olivia nodded, and she wasn't alone. 2 of the hospital's executive team were there. "I'm telling you, they're covering it up." That was the night their romance crossed a line. Marcus had always admired Olivia's courage, how she confronted rude patients with calm authority, how she shielded junior nurses from unfair blame. But in that moment, she wasn't just a colleague, she was a whistle in a hurricane. He stepped toward her, lowering his voice. "You know, if you push this, they'll come for you." She looked up at him, eyes shining with fear and resolve. "I'm not letting them bury her death like it's just another paperwork error." Something in Marcus cracked open. He brushed a damp curl from her forehead, his fingers lingering longer than they should have. "Then we do it together," he whispered. Her lips parted, and before either could think, he leaned in, just for a second, a kiss born from shared danger and the need to feel something pure in the middle of corruption. It was brief, electric, and terrifying. By Monday morning, the hospital's mood had shifted. Olivia's name was suddenly missing from the ICU schedule. She was called into HR for protocol violations that seemed to appear out of nowhere. Charting errors she never made, complaints she had never heard of. Hit the subscribe button and let me know which city you're watching from. Marcus tried to intervene, but was met with cold politeness from the I. Administrators, Dr. Elaine Porter, the chief medical officer, placed a hand on his shoulder in the hallway. "You're a valuable asset, Marcus," she said smoothly. "Don't entangle yourself in unnecessary conflicts. Careers can vanish overnight in this business." He knew what she meant, stay silent or sink. That afternoon, he caught sight of Linda Hargrove at the nurse's station. She avoided his gaze, focusing intently on a patient's chart. But Marcus could read guilt when he saw it. Later, he confronted her in the supply closet. "I know what you did, Linda." Her hand froze on the shelf. "You don't know anything. You shredded Angela Myers' file. I don't care what they promised you." She cut him off, her voice dropping to a venomous whisper. "You think you're a hero, Whitaker? This place doesn't run on heroics. It runs on politics. Keep your head down or you'll be next." 2 days later, the hospital's rumor mill exploded. Marcus was summoned to HR again, this time with a police officer present. Linda had filed a report claiming Marcus had grabbed her arm aggressively during their conversation. It was absurd but damaging. That night, news of Dr. Assault's nurse blazed across local headlines. The story left out context, leaving the public to fill in the blanks. Protesters gathered outside St. Mercy's front entrance. Olivia called him that night, her voice shaking. "They're not just trying to silence you, they're setting you up." That same week, Mr. Alvarez, the hospital's quiet janitor, found Marcus in the staff parking lot. "Doc," he said in his warm but tired voice, "I've been here 30 years. I've seen things, heard things. I was there the night Angela Myers died." Marcus froze. "You saw the shredder?" Alvarez nodded slowly. "And I still got the security footage." He patted his breast pocket. "But this is dangerous. People disappear when they cross the wrong line in this place. The next morning, Marcus met Olivia in the empty cafeteria before dawn. He told her about Alvarez's footage, and together they made a pact. If they couldn't trust the hospital, they'd take it to the court. As they left the cafeteria, a man in a dark suit stepped into their path. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a polite smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Dr. Whitaker, Nurse Grant," he said, "a word of advice. Forget Angela Myers, forget the footage, and forget each other. Some things aren't worth the cost." He stepped aside, letting them pass. Olivia's voice trembled as she whispered, "Marcus, are we in over our heads?" Marcus didn't answer. He couldn't. If your workplace tried to silence you, would you risk your career and your life to expose the truth? The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters, their microphones thrust forward like weapons. Marcus Whitaker and Olivia Grant walked side by side, flanked by their attorneys, the air between them charged with quiet determination. The courthouse loomed above them, its cold, gray stone walls looking more like a fortress than a hall of justice. Inside, the energy was suffocating. Every seat was taken, the press crammed into the back rows, and a row of St. Mercy executives sat stiffly behind the prosecution's table. Linda Hargrove sat with them, her face pale, eyes fixed straight ahead. The judge, a stern woman with steel gray hair, called the case to order. The state versus Dr. Marcus Whitaker and Nurse Olivia Grant. The prosecutor wasted no time. She painted a picture of Marcus as a reckless doctor, one who defied protocol and became violent when challenged. She described Olivia as a disruptive nurse, who interfered with hospital procedures, compromising patient care for her own agenda. She pointed to Linda. And when Nurse Hargrove tried to maintain order, she was assaulted by a doctor who knew his career was on the line. The jury shifted uncomfortably. The seed of doubt had been planted. When Olivia took the stand, she didn't falter. She walked the jury through the night Angela Myers died, explaining how she discovered the altered record and the shredded evidence. She described the confrontation with Linda, careful not to sound vindictive, and how the hospital's administration had targeted her afterward. Why haven't you subscribed to the White Coat Secrets channel? Hit button. Predict how this story would end in the comments section. I'll love to read from you. Her voice cracked only once when she said, "I became a nurse to save lives, not to watch them be buried under paperwork and lies." A few jurors nodded. The tide seemed to turn. Then the prosecution called Dr. Samuel Cray, a colleague Marcus had mentored years ago. Marcus had trusted him. Under oath, Dr. Cray claimed Marcus had privately admitted to handling Linda during their argument and had warned him not to dig into hospital politics. Marcus's face hardened. He knew Cray was lying, but why? That night back at the defense's war room, Olivia slammed her hands on the table. "He sold you out. He's in on it with the administration." Marcus exhaled slowly. "Or they've got something on him." On day 6 of the trial, the defense pulled their ace, Mr. Alvarez. He walked slowly to the stand, wearing his green janitor's uniform. He looked every bit the unassuming worker, but when the defense attorney played the security footage he'd smuggled out, the courtroom went dead silent. The grainy video showed 2 hospital executives in the shred room, feeding Angela Myers' original chart into the machine. Linda appeared briefly, glancing over her shoulder before adding another file to the pile. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. "Mr. Alvarez," the defense attorney asked, "why didn't you bring this forward sooner? Who is your favorite character in the story so far? Let us know. Hit the subscribe button already." Alvarez's voice was quiet but firm. "Because I know what happens to people who speak up here. But then I saw these 2 fighting for the truth, and I couldn't let them stand alone." The next day, Linda was recalled to the stand. The defense attorney slid a printed still frame from the video across the witness box. "Is this you, Nurse Hargrove?" Her hands trembled. "Yes. And is it true you were instructed by hospital administrators to destroy this file?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Yes, they told me if I didn't, I'd lose my job and my pension. They promised me immunity if I testified against Dr. Whitaker." The jury's faces were stone. The prosecution's case was collapsing. On the final day, the judge's gavel echoed through the silent courtroom. Dr. Marcus Whitaker, not guilty of assault and negligence. Nurse Olivia Grant, fully cleared of all protocol violations. St. Mercy Medical Center, liable for gross negligence, evidence destruction, and obstruction of justice. The executives' faces were pale masks of defeat. Marcus reached for Olivia's hand and squeezed. For the first time in weeks, she smiled. That evening, the two of them returned to the hospital rooftop where their fight had begun. The storm clouds had cleared, revealing a city glittering beneath a starlit sky. Marcus wrapped an arm around Olivia. "We won," he said softly. Olivia rested her head on his shoulder. "We survived." They kissed slowly, tenderly, the kind of kiss that carried the weight of every sleepless night, every whispered fear, every near miss. It was love born in chaos, tested by fire, and made unbreakable by truth. Moral lessons. Silence protects the guilty, not the innocent. Speaking up against injustice can be dangerous, but silence allows corruption to grow unchecked. Integrity is the foundation of real loyalty. In the darkest moments, those who stand by you for the truth, not for convenience, are the ones worth trusting. Would you risk your career, your reputation, and your safety to stand for the truth? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe to White Coat Secrets for more stories where we reveal shocking, true stories of medical neglect, misdiagnosis, injustice, and prejudice, but justice always finds a way. Don't forget to like and share this episode.